Well, good morning and lovely Sunday to you, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from beautiful San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, and purposeful coach and speaker in the world. I'm very thoughtful and prayerful and introspective when it comes to the subject matter of these videos. I don't just wake up and say, hey, this is a great idea. I'm very prayerful about what it is that I'm going to be speaking about in each and every video. And I heard this a little while ago, help for hurting hearts. So if you know anybody who has a hurting heart, you may want to just forward this to them, because it's my intention today to be faithful to share with you what I believe is a key, if you will, to beginning the healing process of a hurting heart. And number one to acknowledge, first and foremost, is that everything most of us do, we do to avoid the hurting heart. We do everything in our power to avoid the hurt. We will anesthetize the pain with alcohol, with drugs, with sexual whatever, indulging ourselves in distraction, whether that be binging on Netflix, even something as simple as that, or something that allows us to defer the pain, something that allows us to be distracted from the pain, something that creates a space that is a reprieve from the pain. So step number one when it comes to help for hurting hearts is to recognize that there is a time and a necessity to accept and feel and embrace that pain. Now, I know the subject of my videos is always very powerful around our mindset and our ability to choose to be a thermostat and not a thermometer. And you've heard me say many times before a quote of a Pastor Bill Johnson in Redding, California, that faith does not deny a problem's existence. It simply denies it a place of influence. And yet, there is a time that it is not only appropriate and acceptable, there is a time that is a necessity to feel that pain and to deal with those feelings and to cry and to break down and to lose it and to absolutely give yourself the grace to leave it all on the pillow. The tears, the mascara, if you're a lady, the getting alone by yourself, dude, without the beer or the whiskey, and just suffering for a period of time, allowing yourself to truly accept that pain. And I have discovered it works much better when you're by yourself. We have friends. All of us have someone that, hopefully all of us have someone we could call on that can be a support and that can be a comfort. Yet there is something about taking a moment to get alone and to feel what you're feeling and to experience the pain, not to anesthetize it or to distract yourself from it or to become busy about so many other checklists and check boxes that you don't have time to process it. That you just as you are intentional about your health, just as you are intentional, just as you're intentional about eating, you don't accidentally eat. You don't wait till the moment's right. There's hunger, you make a plan, and you eat. You've got to accept this reality. When your heart is hurting, you've got to be intentional about getting alone and experiencing the pain. And if you're like me, nature is the place that has a restorative quality This is one of my favorite roads. It's out here back behind Babcock and the Scenic Loop area. It's one of my favorite roads. It's one of my favorite drives because there's a whole lot of nature around. There's a whole lot of twists and turns and curves, and I get to be alone with God in my way. Some people, it may be a walk. It may be hiking. It may be driving. It's something, but here's my point. You have got to let yourself feel the pain. You have got to be okay with crying. Whoever told you, boys don't cry, little girl be tough, whoever told you that, told you because they loved you and they wanted to protect you. And it was horrible advice. Absolutely horrible advice. Because when you let things build up and grow and be pent up, it has a way of hardening the soft heart that God gave you. It has a way of hardening the heart and keeping you from being vulnerable in relationships and keeping you from being more deeply connected to other people. And it keeps you in a place where you make vows and judgments about who and what you are willing to accept and deal with in your life, because you get used to a habit and a pattern of avoiding the pain or anesthetizing the pain, yourself from the pain, instead of feeling and embracing the pain. If you're a reader, I suggest you read the book of Psalms. King David was high one day and low the next. On top of the world one day, underneath the world the next. Winning one day, losing the next. And he expressed it fully. David was noted as a man after God's own heart, and David was not a man known for being tough all the time. He was a man who had a tender heart that experienced what he experienced and felt what he felt and took it out to the good Lord. I don't care if you have to yell at God, scream at God, and fight God. It doesn't matter. If you have to in the top of the crow's nest on the ship, shaking your fist at him, you're not going to freak him out. He knows what's up. He knows the pain you're experiencing. So, number one, you got to get alone. Number two, you got to feel what's going on and just let yourself feel it and experience it and work through that. Just have that moment, have that time. Number three, if you do it in nature, there's a healing, restorative quality or aspect to nature that is inexplainable, and it will help you get grounded. It will help you see life through different lenses. It will help you experience things a little bit differently. So, help for a hurting heart. Let me dispel the myth. It is not weakness to ask for help. It is wisdom. And guess what? Big boys and big girls do cry. Big boys and big girls do feel the pain. Get alone. Feel it. Get in nature. Let it process through you, and that will help and begin the process of bringing the healing. I hope today you make a decision that if your heart is hurting today, if you have a heavy heart today, that you will get outside, get alone. Don't try to distract yourself from it or anesthetize yourself from it. Feel it, experience it, process it, let it go through, get that stuff out, and give God something to work with to put it all back together for you. Have a great Sunday, guys.